Admiral John Harris stood at the large window of the U.S. Defiance. He looked out at the huge Galactic Council station. The massive structure had been where humans tried to make peace for 3 years. Behind him, men and women packed their bags and papers. Their faces were sad but determined. The Council had asked for too much this time. They wanted human colonies in the Orient sector as payment for supposed rule-breaking. This was the last straw. For 3 years, humans had talked and compromised. They had tried to be diplomatic, but all they got were more and more unfair demands from the Council races. The Valerians were the worst. They thought they were better than everyone because of their old technology. Their leader, High Overseer Zex Kalur, had called humans barely civilized primates playing with technology they don't understand. Lieutenant Kate Murphy walked up to the Admiral. She held a tablet with the final checklist for leaving. "All teams are ready to go, Admiral," she said. "Send the message to Earth Command," Harris replied. His voice was firm and clear. "Then tell the Council that humans are leaving all talks, starting now." The Defiance and its guard ships got ready to jump to faster-than-light travel. On the Council station, message systems lit up with shocked responses. None of the 17 alien species in the Galactic Council fought the humans. The newcomers, the simple species, would just walk away. They would soon learn how wrong they were. The next day, in the main council room, aliens argued loudly. Representatives from all 17 species shouted over each other. "How dare they leave?" yelled a tall, thin alien with blue skin. "They cannot just walk away from us," said another with 4 arms and green scales. High Overseer Zex Keller stood up. His skin flaps turned bright orange when he was angry. And he was very angry now. "Let them go," he said. His voice was cold. "The humans will come back when they realize they need us." But not everyone agreed. "I don't think so," said Counselor Narthak of the Palladian Collective. His 6 eyes blinked one after another, showing he was worried. "I think we pushed them too far." "Nonsense," Zex Keller said. "They are children playing at being space travelers. Without our guidance, they will fail." On the trip back to Earth, Admiral Harris sat in his room on the Defiance. He looked at pictures of the Council races and read reports about them. For 3 years, he had tried to make peace work. He had followed orders to be patient and respectful, even when the aliens were rude and demanding. "Computer, send a message to General Martinez at Earth Command," he said. The computer beeped, ready to record. "General, the diplomatic mission has failed, but I learned a lot about our so-called allies. The Valerians are hiding something. They were too interested in the Orient sector. It's not about territory. There's something there they want, and they don't want us to have it. I recommend we look into this right away. Also, their technology isn't as advanced as they want us to believe. Their ships have weaknesses. I'm sending the data now." Harris out. The Admiral looked out at the stars as his ship raced toward Earth. He felt both worry and relief. Worry about what might come next, but relief that the pretending was over. On Earth, people had mixed feelings about leaving the talks. Some were scared of making the aliens angry. Others were glad that humans would stop giving in to unfair demands. In a secret underground base in the Rocky Mountains, scientists and military leaders met to plan what to do next. They had expected this day might come. They had prepared for it. "Project Phoenix is ready to move to the next phase," said Dr. Alan Reeves. He showed the room a new ship design unlike anything humans had built before. "How long until the first ships are ready?" asked General Martinez. 6 months for the first group, a year for the full fleet." The general nodded. "Let's hope that's fast enough." In space, the Council races still didn't understand what was happening. They had never met a species like humans before. They thought humans would beg to come back. They were very, very wrong. 6 months passed with no word from Earth or any human colony. At first, the Council races were happy. They thought they had won. They believed the troublesome humans had learned their place. But as weeks turned to months, many aliens started to worry. Council Intelligence Officer Trilvex looked at reports on her datapad. She frowned as she read. Human trading ships had disappeared from normal routes. Their colonies had gone quiet, though long-range scans showed people still lived there. All attempts to talk to humans went unanswered. She walked into Councillor Narthak's office. The Palladian sat at his desk, all 6 of his eyes focused on work. "They're building something," she told him. "Our deep space sensors have found unusual activity in empty regions near human space." "What kind of activity?" asked the counselor. His eyes blinked one after another, showing he was stressed. "Industrial, very big industrial activity. And they found a way to hide most of it from our sensors." She paused. "There's something else. The human colonies we can still see have been changing. They're making stronger buildings, adding defense systems. They're getting ready for something." Councillor Narthak stood up and walked to the window. He looked out at the stars. "The Valerians said the humans would come crawling back," he said quietly. "I think they were wrong." On Earth, deep underground in the Rocky Mountains, Project Director Sharon Lewis read progress reports. She smiled. The Council had never understood humanity's greatest strength. It wasn't just that humans could adapt to new situations. It wasn't just that they were tough. It was that they could work together very well when faced with an outside threat. "The Phoenix fleet is 2 months ahead of schedule," she told the United Earth Defense Council. The room was filled with leaders from all of Earth's nations. "The Artemis weapons platforms will be ready in 4 weeks." General Paul Martinez nodded. "And the Special Projects Division?" Sharon smiled. "Dr. Alan Reeves has made a breakthrough. The technology the Valerians kept from us for decades. We've not only copied it, we've made it better." Around the table, the Earth leaders looked at each other. For years, they had tried to be peaceful. They had joined the Galactic Council, hoping to learn and grow alongside other species. Instead, they had been treated like children. The Council races, especially the Valerians, had shared only the most basic technology. They had made unfair trade deals. They had asked for more and more while giving less and less. "Show us the new ships," said the president. Sharon pressed a button. A 3D image appeared above the table. It showed a new type of ship, unlike anything humans had built before. It was black and sleek. It seemed to drink in light rather than reflect it. "This is the Phoenix class," Sharon explained. "It uses the new drive system Dr. Reeves developed. It's 3 times faster than our current fastest ship. Its shields can stop any weapon the Council races have, and it has something special." She pressed another button. The image zoomed in on a part of the ship. "The Theseus Field Generator," she said. "It can shut down other ship systems without harming the people inside. We can disable any Council ship without firing a single shot." "How many do we have?" asked General Martinez. 50 are ready now. 200 more will be ready in 3 months." The president stood up. "For 3 years, we tried to be their friends. We offered our hand in peace, and they treated us like dirt. We won't make that mistake again." He looked around the table. "But we won't become like them either. We won't attack first. We won't hurt innocent people. We'll be ready to defend ourselves, but we'll also be ready to talk if they ever want real peace, as equals." In space, a human scout ship watched a Valerian outpost from far away. The ship was using new technology that made it invisible to Valerian sensors. Inside, Captain Frank Jones recorded everything he saw. "They have no idea what's coming," he said to his crew. "But we're not going to strike first. Those are our orders. We watch, we learn, and we wait." His second-in-command, Lieutenant Diane Clark, looked at the sensor readings. "They're sending ships toward the Orion sector again," she said. "The 3rd group this month." Captain Jones nodded. "Whatever they're looking for out there, they're getting desperate to find it. Make sure we record everything. Earth Command needs to know." Councillor Narthak's shuttle flew very fast toward the emergency meeting of the Galactic Council. After 14 months of silence from humans, things had gotten bad. 3 Valerian outposts near human space had gone completely dark in the past week. There were no calls for help, no signs of fighting, just silence. The big meeting room of the council was unusually quiet when Narthak entered. Representatives from all 17 alien species sat in rings, looking worried instead of proud like usual. High Overseer Zex Kaller of the Valerians spoke first. His normally bossy voice was noticeably softer. 3 of our most advanced watching stations have disappeared without explanation. Before we lost contact, one station reported seeing a new kind of energy, unlike anything we know about. The Galactic Security Chief, a bug-like XL Naga named Vriska, stepped forward. We think the humans have made technology better than we thought they could. Our studies of their factories before they stopped talking to us suggested they were decades away from making anything that could threaten council races. This thinking was wrong. A worried sound went through the room. How wrong? Asked Representative Goro of the Trading Bonteri Federation. The answer came from someone nobody expected. The doors to the room opened, and a single human walked in. Dr. Elizabeth Cole, who used to be a junior science helper for humans at the council, walked calmly to the center of the room. Her arrival, not invited or expected, made security guards reach for their weapons. Your thinking was wrong by about 200 years of development time, she said clearly, her voice carrying through the suddenly silent room. You thought we were technology babies needing guidance. Actually, we were just being polite. High Overseer Zex Keller's face turned bright orange with anger. How dare you come into this room uninvited? Dr. Cole ignored him and spoke to the whole council. I've come with a message and a demonstration. Humanity has sent me to show you exactly what you've caused with your lies and attitude. She held up a small device. A 3D image appeared in the center of the room, showing a star system the council members knew right away. Valera Prime, the heart of Valerian civilization and home of their strongest military base. The image showed a fleet of ships unlike any the council had seen before, smooth, oddly shaped vessels that seemed to swallow light rather than reflect it. This video was recorded 30 hours ago, Dr. Cole explained. What you're about to see is a small part of humanity's new defense abilities. The council watched in shocked silence as the human ships approached the Valerian defense line. Huge Valerian warships moved to stop them, only to find themselves suddenly frozen in space, their famous shield technology failing as the human ships passed by them untouched. No weapons were fired. Nothing was destroyed. The human fleet simply turned off everything they passed. We call it the Theseus field, Dr. Cole explained. It selectively disrupts specific technology systems while leaving others working. In this case, we disabled your weapons, engines, and communication systems, but left life support working. The video continued, showing the human fleet moving unchallenged to Valera Prime's orbital defense station, the pride of their military, and making it completely powerless in seconds. Your ships and crews are unharmed, Dr. Cole continued. They've been towed to the edge of the system and will start working again in about 12 hours. The room erupted in panic and angry shouts. Security guards surrounded Dr. Cole, but didn't try to arrest her, uncertainty visible even on their alien faces. This is just one of many technologies we've created since leaving your talks, she said, her voice cutting through the noise. We could have chosen a more destructive demonstration. Remember that. Counselor Narthak stood up. His 6 eyes were all focused on Dr. Cole. Why have you come? He asked. To threaten us? Dr. Cole shook her head. No, to open your eyes. For 3 years, we tried to be your friends. We offered peace and cooperation. You gave us condescension and lies. She looked directly at Zex Keller. We know about the Orient sector. We know what you've been looking for. The High Overseer's orange face suddenly turned pale. You can't possibly, he began. But we do, Dr. Cole interrupted. And that's why I'm here. Because what's happening is bigger than humans or Valerians, or even the Council. The real question is, Do you want to keep being enemies? Or do you want to know the truth? The council chamber was completely silent after Dr. Cole's words. The alien representatives looked at each other with uncertainty. Some seemed afraid, others angry, and a few looked curious. High Overseer Zex Keller was the first to recover. He stood up, his body shaking with anger. This is an attack on our sovereignty. The humans have violated our space and threatened our worlds. He shouted, "We must respond with full military force." Several council members nodded in agreement, but Councillor Narthak raised his hand. "Before we vote on war, perhaps we should hear what the humans know," he suggested. Dr. Cole mentioned the Orient sector. "She claims to know what we've been seeking there." Zex Keller's face membranes fluttered in agitation. "That information is not relevant to this outrage." "I think it is very relevant," Dr. Cole said calmly. She turned to address the full council. "For 3 years, we tried to be honest partners. We shared our culture, our science, our resources. In return, the council, especially the Valerians, lied to us." She touched her small device again. A new image appeared in the chamber. It showed a strange object floating in space. It was clearly artificial, but unlike any technology that the younger council races had seen before. The shape was complex, with curves and angles that seemed to bend in impossible ways. "This is what the Valerians have been looking for in the Orient sector," Dr. Cole explained. "An ancient device built by a civilization that disappeared 50,000 years ago. A civilization your history books call the Architects." Shocked whispers swept through the chamber. The Architects were legendary builders whose remnants had been found across the galaxy. Their technology was still beyond the understanding of even the oldest council races. "How did you find this?" asked Security Chief Friska, her chitinous body leaning forward with interest. "We followed the Valerian ships," Dr. Cole said simply. "Once we developed stealth technology, we watched everything they did. And we wondered, why are they so interested in an empty part of space? What could be so important there?" She looked directly at Zex Keller. "But that's not all we discovered. Would you like to tell the council why you want this device so badly, High Overseer? Or shall I?" The Valerian leader's face had lost all color now. "This is classified information. The humans are lying." "We're not lying," Dr. Cole said. She gestured, and another human entered the chamber. This one carried a small container. "This is Dr. Alan Reeves, our leading expert on architect technology." The new human opened the container. Inside was a crystal that glowed with soft blue light. It seemed to pulse with energy. "This is an architect control node," Dr. Reeves explained. "We found it buried on Mars, in our home solar system. For decades, we didn't understand what it was. But recently, we discovered how to access the information stored inside it." He held up the crystal. "The Architects left these devices on specific worlds throughout the galaxy. Each one contains part of their knowledge. The Valerians have been searching for the most important one. A master control node that could activate or deactivate all architect technology." High Overseer Zex Keller jumped to his feet. "Guards, seize these humans and that artifact." But the security forces didn't move. They looked uncertain, their weapons lowered. "They won't help you," Dr. Cole said quietly. "We didn't just demonstrate our technology at Volara Prime. While I've been talking to you, human ships have moved into position throughout Council space. Every major military installation, every fleet headquarters, every weapons platform. They're all currently under the effect of the Theseus field." A new image appeared, showing multiple star systems where Council military forces were floating powerless in space. "We didn't hurt anyone," Dr. Cole continued. "No ships were destroyed. No lives were lost. But we've shown what we could do if we wanted to. The question is, what happens next?" Councillor Narthak stood slowly. "I think, Dr. Cole, that depends on what you want. You clearly have the upper hand. What are your demands?" Dr. Cole smiled for the first time. "We don't have demands. We have an invitation. The architects didn't leave their technology to be used as weapons or tools of control. They left it as a test, to see which species would use it wisely. The Valerians failed that test when they tried to keep it for themselves. She looked around the chamber. Humanity invites any species that wants true cooperation, true sharing of knowledge, to join us. The old council can continue as it has been, manipulating, controlling, lying, or we can build something better together. The choice is yours. Back on Earth, Commander Sam Griffin led a team through the dark lower levels of what had once been the Galactic Council's Information Exchange Center. The aliens had left this building when human diplomats withdrew from talks. For months, analysts had been looking through data left behind, but only recently had they found the hidden archives. "The code is unlike anything we've seen before," said Olivia Peterson, the team's technology expert. Her fingers moved quickly across screens designed for non-human use. "But the pattern-matching programs Dr. Reeves made are starting to break it." The first files began to translate onto their screens. They showed the Council's true history and what they had planned for humans. "Oh my God," whispered Sam as the information appeared. "They've done this before." The archives revealed a pattern going back thousands of years. The Galactic Council wasn't the friendly cooperative it pretended to be. It was a carefully managed system designed to find, test, and either absorb or neutralize possible rival civilizations. Species deemed compatible were slowly brought into the Council's system in lower positions. Those labeled as unpredictable or too innovative were systematically undermined through fake diplomatic talks, then either contained or eliminated if they resisted control. Humanity had been put in the highest threat category, exponential adapters, species with the dangerous mix of fast technological advancement and resistance to cultural control. The peace talks had never been real. They were a delay tactic while the Council positioned assets to isolate and potentially destroy human-controlled space if necessary. Sam's communicator beeped. "Griffin here. Commander, this is Central Command. New information suggests Council races are moving their fleets. The Valerians are pushing for immediate military action against Earth after our demonstration." Sam looked at the historical data still flowing across the screens, dozens of civilizations that had faced similar threats, many of which no longer existed. "Tell Command we found something they need to see immediately. And alert Admiral Harris. I think we just discovered why the Valerians were so interested in the Orient sector. It wasn't about the territory at all." On the Galactic Council station, the emergency meeting had turned into chaos. Dr. Cole and Dr. Reeves had been escorted to a secure waiting room while the Council argued about what to do next. "The humans are bluffing," insisted High Overseer Zex Keller. "They cannot possibly have neutralized all our military assets." "Our own sensors confirm it," said Security Chief Vriska. "Every major fleet is currently disabled. The humans have used this Theseus field across our entire territory." "How did they advance so quickly?" asked Representative Goro of the Bonteri. "Just 3 years ago, their technology was centuries behind ours." Councillor Narthak's 6 eyes blinked in sequence. "Perhaps they were not showing us everything even then. Perhaps they were studying us while we thought we were studying them." "It doesn't matter how they did it," said Zexcaler. "What matters is that they must be stopped before they can use the architect technology. If they truly have found a control node, they could access weapons beyond our understanding. Yet they haven't used any weapons," Narthak pointed out. "Their demonstration disabled our ships without harming anyone. That suggests restraint, not aggression." Back in the waiting room, Dr. Cole received a secure transmission from Earth. She looked at the data coming through and her eyes widened. "Ellen," she said to Dr. Reeves, "they've found the Council archives. The full history. It's worse than we thought." Dr. Reeves looked up from the architect crystal he had been studying. "How bad?" "They've been systematically eliminating species like ours for millennia. Species the architects selected as potential successors." She paused. They found evidence of at least 27 civilizations that were either manipulated into submission or wiped out completely when they resisted. The architects selected us. Dr. Reeves asked, looking at the crystal with new understanding. Dr. Cole nodded, along with several other species, but the Valerians and the other elder races have been intercepting the architect signals, preventing contact. They've appointed themselves as gatekeepers, deciding which species get to advance and which don't. And we weren't chosen to advance, Dr. Reeves said quietly. No, according to these archives, the plan was to contain us for another century, drain our resources, and then eliminate us once they had extracted everything useful. She looked up at her colleague. We need to change our approach. We need to reach out to the other species the architects selected. They could be allies, if any are left, Dr. Reeves said grimly. The Galactic Council chamber had been in non-stop emergency meetings for 3 days. The demonstration of human technology had shattered centuries of confidence among the elder races. We must strike now with everything we have, High Overseer Zex Keller demanded, hitting his hand-like appendage on the ancient council table. The humans have violated our most sacred space and shown hostile intent. They showed restraint, countered Counselor Narthak. If they wanted to destroy us, we would not be having this talk. The debate might have gone on forever if not for the arrival of another unexpected human visitor. Bill Donovan, formerly a mid-level diplomatic helper, now wearing an Earth Defense Force uniform, walked into the chamber with 2 others carrying secure boxes. Your debate is pointless, he announced without greeting. We know about the Orion Directive. The word sent visible shock through the assembly. Many council members looked confused, but the representatives of the 3 oldest races, the Valerians, the Xel'Naga, and the Arthurians, showed clear recognition. That information is restricted to highest-level clearance, sputtered Zex Keller. How could primitives possibly? We found your archives, Donovan interrupted. We know the Orion sector contains an ancient weapon platform, created by the civilization you call the Architects. We know the Valerians have been trying to access its control systems for centuries without success. He gestured, and his companions opened the boxes they carried, revealing artifacts of clearly alien design, control crystals for technologies far beyond even the Council's understanding. These were dug up from beneath the surface of Mars decades ago, Donovan explained. We didn't understand what they meant until recently. They're architect control nodes, similar to what you've been looking for in the Orion sector. The chamber went completely silent. The architects seeded multiple worlds with their technology before disappearing, Donovan continued. Earth was one such world. Unlike you, we didn't just find their technology. We found their message. They chose certain species as their heirs based on specific traits. Your council has been systematically eliminating those species for thousands of years. High Overseer Zex Keller's face turned pale. These are lies. The humans are trying to turn you against us. Are we? Donovan looked around the chamber. Ask yourselves why the elder races have kept the truth about the Architects secret. Ask why promising civilizations keep disappearing or suddenly stopping their development. The archives we found have records going back 15,000 years. He activated a small device. A hologram appeared, showing a star map with dozens of points marked in red. Each red mark shows a civilization that showed great promise, then suddenly collapsed or disappeared completely. In every case, there were Council peacekeeping missions shortly before. Security Chief Vrisk stepped forward. If what you say is true, why haven't the humans used this architect technology as a weapon against us? You claim to have control nodes. You clearly have military superiority at the moment. Why come here to talk instead of simply destroying us? Donovan smiled slightly. Because that's not what the architects wanted. They weren't looking for species that would use their technology as weapons. They were looking for species that would use it to build, to explore, to bring life to dead worlds. He looked directly at the council members from the younger races. For millennia, The elder races have kept you dependent on them. They've shared just enough technology to make you useful, but never enough to make you their equals. They've told you they were protecting the galaxy from dangerous species like humans. In reality, they were protecting their own power. On the edges of the Orient sector, a small fleet of Valerian ships that had slipped away during the confusion approached a strange object floating in space. The object was exactly what the humans had shown in their hologram, an architect device of immense power. On the lead ship, a Valerian commander named HFY watched the device with hungry eyes. The humans were right about its location, he said to his second-in-command. Once we activate it, we'll have power beyond anything the galaxy has seen. We can overthrow the Council and rule as the architects intended. Are you sure we can control it? Asked his second. Of course, HFY said confidently. We are Valerians. We are destined to rule. As they moved closer to the device, it began to glow with strange energy. The Valerian ships prepared to dock with it. Then a voice came over their communication system. Valerian vessels, this is Captain Rick Sanchez of the Earth Defense Force ship Horizon. That device is not what you think it is. Move away immediately. HFY laughed. Too late, humans. The power of the architects will be ours. The device glowed brighter as the Valerian ships approached. But instead of responding to their control signals, it began to pulse with warning lights. It's not a weapon, Captain Sanchez said urgently. It's a test, and you're failing it. The news about the Orion Directive split the Galactic Council along old lines. The younger races, learning they had been tricked for centuries, demanded answers. The elder races, mainly the Valerians, Selnaga, and Arthurians, insisted their actions had been needed for galactic safety. On the space station Harmony, once a symbol of Galactic Council unity, now the neutral ground where a new future would be decided, representatives from 12 of the 17 Council races met with the human delegation led by Admiral Harris and Dr. Cole. For 10,000 years, we believed we were part of a galactic community, said Representative Mira of the Tellurian worlds, her body giving off patterns of blue light showing deep distress. In reality, we were being controlled, our growth limited to paths that helped the elder races. High Commander Jorvek of the Danteri Defense Force, his hard outer shell showing marks of many battles, turned to Admiral Harris. The question remains, what do humans want now? You have shown power that matches or exceeds that of the elder races. Do you seek revenge? Control? Will you become the very thing you have exposed? Admiral Harris looked at Dr. Cole, who nodded slightly. What we want is what we always wanted, Harris said. Real peace, equal sharing of knowledge, freedom for all thinking species to grow without control or manipulation. He activated a display showing a new type of ship, huge, with sections clearly designed with different species architecture in mind. This is the Concordia, he explained. The first ship of what we hope will be a new multi-species exploration initiative, built with combined technology and designed to hold crews from any interested world. And the architect technology? Asked Counselor Narthak carefully. The weapon platforms. Dr. Cole stepped forward. We've started the process of turning them off. The architects left behind amazing knowledge, but their weapons were created for a war long since ended. We believe their true legacy lies in bringing together the species they selected, not in destroying those they didn't. Meanwhile, in deep space, the Valerian commander HFY's ships surrounded the architect device. Despite the human warnings, he was determined to claim its power. Begin the activation sequence, he ordered. Use the codes from the ancient texts. His crew sent the signal to the device. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the device began to glow brighter, pulsing with energy. It's working, HFY cried. The power of the architects will be ours. But instead of responding to their control, the device suddenly sent out a wave of energy that washed over the Valerian ships. All systems shut down at once. The ships floated helpless in space. A hologram appeared on the bridge of HFY's ship, It showed a being unlike any they had seen before, tall and slender, with features that seemed to shift and change as they watched. "You have failed the test," the being said in a voice that seemed to come from everywhere at once. "You seek power for domination, not creation. This is not our way." The hologram vanished, and the device went dark. Nearby, Captain Sanchez watched from the horizon. "Record everything," he ordered his crew. "Earth Command needs to see this." His communications officer, Lisa Torres, looked up from her station. "Sir, we're receiving a message from Admiral Harris. The talks with the younger council races are going well. 12 species have agreed to join the new coalition." Sanchez nodded. "What about the elder races?" "The Valerians have refused. The Exilnaga and Arthurians are still deciding." In the council chamber, the representatives of the younger races signed a new agreement with the humans. The document wasn't about rules or territory or power. It was about cooperation, about working together to study the architect legacy, about ensuring all species could grow at their own pace without control or interference. Admiral Harris watched with satisfaction. For 3 years, humans had tried to join the galactic community as equals. They had been rejected, looked down on, treated like children. Now they were helping to build something better. "This is just the beginning," Counselor Narthak said, standing beside him. "The elder races won't accept this easily. They've held power too long to give it up without a fight." "We know," Harris replied. "That's why we're not asking them to give up anything. We're just creating a choice. Join us as equals, or continue as they have been, alone." Around the room, humans and aliens talked, shared ideas, made plans together. It wasn't perfect. There were still misunderstandings, still suspicions on both sides. But it was a start. And in the depths of space, more architect devices began to activate, responding to the new alliance in ways no one had predicted. 1 year after humans withdrew from the original peace talks, a different kind of meeting took place. The observation deck of the Concordia provided a beautiful view of the nebula called NGC 4038, its swirling gases lit up by the birth of new stars. Captain Laura Bennett watched as the ship's crew of many nationalities and species worked together with growing comfort and skill. The Tellarian star mappers worked with human scientists. Dantari engineers shared new ideas with their Bontari partners. Even a small group of younger Valerians had joined the expedition, breaking away from their species' traditional isolation, part of the big political changes following the breaking of the old council. "Star mapping complete, Captain," reported Navigation Officer Rick Sanchez. "The unexplored region seems to have 17 planets that might support life." "Thank you, Officer Sanchez. Please work with Science Officer Trilvex on first survey plans." The science officer, once a council intelligence analyst who had been among the first to recognize humanity's potential, nodded in agreement. "Captain," called Communications Specialist Greg Howard, "incoming message from Earth Command. Admiral Harris wants your status report." Laura smiled. "Tell him the Coalition fleet is performing very well. Our first joint mission is going exactly as hoped." On her personal tablet, a different message appeared. "Eyes-only intelligence from Earth Defense." The remains of the old Council power structure hadn't given up entirely. There were reports of Valerian hardliners gathering ships. The Exilnaga were rumored to be looking into ancient technologies similar to what had been found in the Orient sector. Peace would require watchfulness. Humanity had learned that lesson well. But as Laura looked around at the diverse crew of the Concordia, former enemies now working side by side, she felt real hope. The humans' dramatic withdrawal from peace talks had indeed forced the Galactic Council to recognize their mistake, but in doing so, it had created a chance for something better to grow. On Earth, in the underground complex beneath the Rocky Mountains, Project Director Sharon Lewis met with the United Earth Defense Council. The room was filled with leaders from all of Earth's nations. "The coalition is growing stronger," she reported. 5 more species have asked to join in the past month alone." General Paul Martinez nodded with satisfaction. and the architect technology. Dr. Alan Reeves stepped forward. We've made amazing progress. The control nodes we found on Mars have given us access to a vast library of knowledge. But it's not about weapons or power, as the Valerians thought. It's about creation, exploration, and balance. He activated a display showing a dead, rocky world. Then the image changed, showing the same world transformed, with blue oceans, green plants, and a breathable atmosphere. The architects were terraformers, Dr. Reeves explained. They'd brought life to dead worlds across the galaxy. That's the legacy they wanted to pass on. Not domination, but creation. The president stood up. And the elder races, the Valerians? Sharon's face grew serious. They still resist. High Overseer Zex Kaller has been removed from power, but the new leadership is just as determined to maintain Valerian superiority. They're rebuilding their fleets. We need to remain vigilant, but not aggressive, the president said firmly. We won't become what we fought against. We'll defend ourselves and our allies, but we'll always leave the door open for peace. In deep space, at the edge of known territory, a small Earth ship called the Discovery approached an Architect space station that had recently activated. Unlike the device in the Orion sector, this one had sent out a signal, an invitation. Captain Joe Carter looked at the massive structure with wonder. Are we ready for this? He asked his second-in-command, Lieutenant Amy Lopes. She smiled. The architects seemed to think so. They chose us for a reason. As their ship docked with the ancient station, lights began to turn on throughout the structure. Doors opened. Systems activated. The station had been waiting for thousands of years for the right species to arrive. Elsewhere in the galaxy, on worlds long watched by the elder races, other species were making their own discoveries. Architect technology, hidden or dormant for millennia, was waking up. The galaxy was changing. On the Concordia, Captain Bennett received a new message from Earth Command. More ships were being built. More worlds were asking to join the coalition. The old council was falling apart as more species learned the truth and chose a different path. Humanity had withdrawn from peace talks and forced the Galactic Council to recognize their mistake. In doing so, they had changed the course of galactic history, not through conquest or domination, but by offering a hand in friendship.